Hi everyone, welcome to a third day event from our virtual showroom. Remember, these will be available for 1 month in our platform. You can see as many times as you want our virtual showroom. Also, the classes will be recorded, so you can practice as many times you want all the classes you've just seen from these 3 days with all these incredible instructors from around the world. So today we are ready to begin these classes, and we have an amazing instructor, Chris Horne from Amscan, UK. Welcome, Chris.
Hi, hello everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Hello everyone, it's great to be here. I hope you've enjoyed the classes so far. I'm going to be doing a few centerpiece ideas. At least that was the plan at the beginning. 1 or 2 of them got a little bigger than I thought, but I still think they'll have plenty to interest and give you some new techniques and ideas. I'm going to start with one that follows the theme of the whole virtual showroom, the safari theme, because it gives me a chance to use some of the wonderful new products that Sempertek's have introduced this year. I'm going to be using the terracotta and mustard colors, and also these, which are fantastic, the little 5-inch animal print balloons. I'm just choosing one animal for this particular piece, and that's the giraffe. But of course, they come in the zebra and the tiger, and they're just beautiful. The little 5-inch balloons are so good to work with. So I'm going to start by using a piece of natural wood. This is a piece that I cut from a tree. Literally went out and found a tree that had the right shaped branch and cut it, and I've screwed it to a wooden base so that it stands up. And that's going to be the structure for the centerpiece design. Around that, I'm going to create a base of balloons in an organic style. So there's no recipe for this, you just build it to look the way you want it to. So I've created a selection of duplets, pairs of balloons in different sizes and different color combinations, and also several quads, 4 balloons together. And I'm just going to put these around the base of the balloon. I may need a base of the tree. I may need to add in a few extras at the end, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to start with these 2, just wrap them like that, and then these 2, actually we'll take that there, and just push down so that they sit nicely on the base. Then I can add 2 more, one there, and one there. So we cover up the base of the tree quite well. We do need to hide the rest of the wooden base, but we'll can do that as we work through. Next, I'm going to take some 260 and tie around the middle of one of the quads. Before you do that, you can make the 260 into a ribbon, which will give it a bit of extra strength. If you hold the balloon at the end here and just pull down, push all of the air out, and then tie it, then you have a flat ribbon which is more elastic and stronger than the balloon on its own. And then I'm just going to use this to add the extra quads into the base wherever I think we need them. One there. I'll have one on this side. and then the rest will come out this way. So we'll start with that one there. I'll turn it around. This is the front that you're looking at now, and I'm just adding the quads of balloons one at a time to create the look that I want. I need to turn it back again in a moment just to see. I think we need another one in there. So I can just get another 260, make the ribbon. Tie it around the quad. So forgive me while I turn it around. I need to put that in there like that. The good thing about using the 260s is that you can manipulate and move the balloons around to get them in the right place. If you were to use glue dots or something similar, then obviously once they're in place, they won't move. And if you want to adjust it, you can't. Whereas with the 260 like this, you can adjust the way it sits to get them just how you want them. Okay. We'll just need to add in one or two more single balloons just to complete it. So I'm just going to have a look at what we need. I'll use a 5-inch leopard print. Go it a bit bigger than I want. Let it down to the size that I want. And these ones will be attached with glue dots just to make them stay in the right place. Oops. One there. And we need another one at the front here, I think a terracotta. That can sit there. Another glue dot. And then finally one more terracotta one here. So we have a nice low but wide base which will balance what's happening up above. Yeah. Okay. One more glue dot on that one, just so that it doesn't move out of the way. That's got it. So there's the base of the design from the front. You can see there. Now, we need to build the tree. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is to take 3 260 balloons. I've inflated them right to the very end so that they're fully inflated, and then I've let a little bit of air out so they're a little bit soft, which means that they'll be much stronger and more easy to work with. Let's move that slightly out of the way. Line up the knot ends so they're all level, and then just twist them together like that. And then to make sure that they don't come undone, I'm just going to push those through so that they lock in place. And now we're going to braid them together, to plait them together. So just all the way to the end, and then when you get to the end, twist them together again to lock them, and push one of these bubbles through to stop it unraveling. So then we have a nice braid of the reflex lime green. I'm going to roll this now, like that. Hold it together by pushing the bubble through to the other side, and then this over the top, and once again push the bubble through. So we have a circle with a little bit extra sitting on the top. Then we're going to add some more to this. So for this, I will need to make some bubble chains. Okay, so we need a long chain of evenly sized bubbles, the maximum number possible from each balloon. And they give it a stretch first. That should do, just to relax it. And then fold it in half and find the middle, because we want to inflate the balloon halfway. So if you hold it at the middle there, and then we can inflate with your preferred method of inflation, electric inflator, hand pump, whatever you like, just to where you're holding it, halfway along. Oh. It's a little bit of a struggle for the machine for some reason. Doesn't matter, because we're making a bubble chain, so I'm not worried about it being evenly inflated. So we have a halfway inflation. Now, we need to get as many bubbles as possible. So twist, twist several times. Always twist in the same direction so that it doesn't unravel. And never let go of the end. So once you have 3 or 4 bubbles, you can tuck the first one through your fingers, and then that gives you both hands to work with. Now, it can be quite stressful on the hands multiple times if you need to do lots and lots of them. So a quicker way and an easier way to do this is to put the first twist and then roll the balloon down, and then just twist and roll, and it's much, much faster and much less painful if you have a lot to do. Now, this one's not working perfectly, unfortunately. I was very proud of myself this morning when I did one and it got to the end exactly. This one not quite, because of the way it inflated. Still got plenty of it, there's no problem there. When you have your bubble chain, tuck one end between 2 balloons like that, and then wrap it around and around, and then when you get to the other end, tuck it in again to secure. And you'll need to add 3 or 4 bubble chains. Here's some that I made earlier. These ones are perfect because I did them when no one was watching. Tuck it in. Wrap it around. Quite random. You don't need to try and make it too tidy and too neat. In fact, you want to avoid making it too tidy and too neat, because we're looking for as natural a look as possible. Around a few times, tuck it through. More. And then the last one we'll put in here. There we go. So that then gives us one of the pieces of the tree. And we're going to need 3 of these. So as time is quite limited, here are the other 2. And then I'm going to mount these onto the branches of the tree. So because the wood is quite sharp, or can be quite sharp, I've just put an uninflated balloon over the end of each of the sticks so that when the balloons come in contact with it, they don't burst. And I'm very simply going to take this piece of foliage that we've got here, find, there we go, a position where it looks as if it's going to sit nice and flat, and push it onto
Hi, Chris.
the stick, like that.
Hi, Chris. Can you hear me?
And then repeat it here. If you
Hi,
want
Chris,
to, you
can
can
you
make
hear
sure
me?
that these stay put.
Hi, Chris.
You can use glue. Have I?
Yes. Is that
I can't
people?
hear her, no. Sorry, if you're talking to me, since we have a technical problem somewhere, I can't hear you. Just one moment. Try again, speak again.
Okay. Hi. Can you hear me right now?
No. Am I connected? Oh, I've come undone. Hang on, wait. Right. Try again, please. What was the question?
So people are trying. Yes, you can hear me now.
I can.
Perfect. Okay, people are asking, how do you do the first bubble and don't release like the sequence? Because every time people are trying to do these bubbles, always like it damages like the rest of the bubble. So they want to see the trick again you make.
Okay. Inflate it, a little bit out, so that it's soft, tie it. Now, so hold it here and twist several times. Now we need to hold it here with the rest of the hand. If you let go, it comes undone. So twist and hold this first bubble with your little finger like that while you put the next one, always twisting in the same direction. Keep holding the first one. Twist again. And when you have 2 or 3 or 4 like that, this time we can now tuck that there. Now I can use my whole hand without that one coming undone. So you always hold the end, never ever let go. And then this is then we can start to roll, twist, roll, twist, roll. Never notice I've still got this one here. I never let go of that first one.
That rolling trick you just make, it's very great. It's awesome. It's easier, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm getting to be very old now, and I have arthritis in my hands, which makes them very painful. So for me, this is a fantastic trick because it reduces the stress on my fingers.
Yes,
fantastically.
It's a relaxing exercise. Thank you, Chris, for showing us again.
No problem. So just remember, always hold the end and you'll be okay. Because the moment you let go, that happens.
Perfect. Thank you.
No problem. And I will try not to tread on the cable again, which is what happened the last time. So this time I'll be able to hear you.
Okay.
Last one up here. So we put this on the top. We'll turn it the other way, I think, that way round, and sit that on top. And then that gives us our safari tree. And then right at the end, I need to just add a couple of little extra details to complete it all. So I have got a little bit of artificial plastic greenery, which I'm going to sit in there. I think, does it look better there, or does it look better here? I think it looks better there. It's nice because you can position it wherever you like. And then just to make it a little bit more friendly, I have a wooden giraffe. And this has been donated by a good colleague and friend, a little plush giraffe as well. So you can use whichever one you like, but they will fit around and inside the base, like so. And there's the first one, which is our safari scene as a centerpiece.
Beautiful.
It looks very complicated and very intricate, but actually it's very, very simple. And that's the key,
Chris,
isn't it, to making it successful.
Okay, Chris, people are asking if you can repeat just the first part of the braid.
Yeah, I can, of course. So let's push this slightly out of the way for the moment. Okay, I'll do it with the hand pump just to make sure that we get a nice even inflation. So, I fill it right to the very end if I'm doing a complete braid, but if they just want to see the first part, we don't need to fully inflate.
Yes.
You need 3. Always let a little bit of air out to make the balloon softer and easier to work with. Stretch, there we go. Okay, so get your 3 balloons, line them all up so that they are level, like that, and then put a single twist in all 3. So twist all 3 together, like that. 1, 2, 3 bubbles on the end, but that might untwist. So to stop that happening, take one of the bubbles and just push it underneath, and maybe another one from the other side. And that will lock it all together so that they won't come apart. Good and strong. And that means then that you can braid it without this end untwisting. When you get to the other end, do the same. Put that all the way through, and that locks it. So now it won't come apart.
Perfect. Thank you, Chris.
Okay. No problem.
Yes.
No problem. Do we have any more questions about this design? Because if not, I will move on to the second one. No?
No more questions, Chris.
Okay, let's clear this one out of the way quickly. Bring in the second one, which is a completely different style. Oops. But has another fun technique involved. because, thank you very much, Jacob. Wherever possible, I like to try and have something in the design that is a little bit out of the ordinary, a little bit different, because I always think that if you are at a big event, a wedding, a party, any kind of event where we have centerpieces and things, I would like the guests at the event to sit around the table talking about how good the balloons are, rather than the weather or the food or some other guest's dress or anything like that. It's the balloons that I want them to talk about. So if we can have something in each design that is a little bit unusual, that can make a big difference. So this time I'm going to use some foil balloons. These are the Satin Lux hearts, and this is the flamingo colour, because it is an almost perfect match for Sempertek's Reflex Pink in texture and in colour. It's absolutely beautiful match. It also gives me a chance to use some of these, which are really exciting, the new 14-inch Reflex hearts. Ooh, they're very, very nice, very, very good. Beautiful balloon. And a little touch, only a hint, with a little touch of the new Reflex Fuchsia in 5-inch, because it's just a shade darker than the pinks. And then I need some ribbon and I need some bows. And that's kind of it. But the little trick that I want to show you involves the foil balloon. We're going to distort it. We're going to twist it into an unusual shape to use it at the base of our design. So we need a weight. This is a glass marble inside a 5-inch balloon. It's just a small weight. We don't need huge bulk. We want it to be small, but heavy enough to hold everything down. So just put a heavy weight. It can be anything. It could be a small amount of sand, or you could use a stone or a rock or marble or anything at all that is small enough but heavy enough to weight it down. And then put it against your balloon. The beauty of this is that every one of these that you do will be slightly different because of where you position the weight. So even if you put it right in the middle, the balloon will still distort in a slightly different way each time you do it. But I'm going to put it slightly to one side, about there. It doesn't really matter. Just because I like things that are not symmetrical. So slightly off center. And I'm going to gather the balloon around the weight and then tie it. You can do that with ribbon, you can use a modeling balloon, whatever you like, but just tie so that the weight is trapped in the balloon like that. Okay, so there's the weight, here's the balloon, and very importantly, this is the end of the 5-inch that the weight is inside. So the weight on one side and the balloon on the other. And then I'm going to inflate this. Now, be careful, don't go too strong, because the balloon's quite twisted now. So we need to make sure that we don't inflate it too fast. Okay, now this, when this happens, it always gives me the opportunity to say, remember to do this, because if you don't, this will happen. I've put it a little bit too close to the valve, and I've trapped the end of the valve in the knot, which means I can't inflate it. That is a very, well, in England, we would call that a schoolboy error. It's a very silly thing to do, but I'm obviously not concentrating hard enough, and I completely forgot. So just make sure that you do miss the valve when you wrap your weight in your balloon. I've just moved it out of the way and we'll be fine. Cut. Right, let's try again, shall we? Let's pretend that the last 2 minutes didn't happen. And we're going to, going to inflate the foil balloon. And you will see that you get quite an interesting distorted shape here. Inflate it so it's firm, but not so tight that it's going to burst. And then inside here, we've still got the end of the 5-inch balloon there. That is going to be used to attach other things to, and we can tape the tail out of the way. I'll just use a glue dot to hold that. Okay, now we can dress it up. So once again, I'm going to use a 260, and once again, I'm going to make a bead chain. So if you didn't see it the last time, I'm going to demonstrate it again. I'll see if I can get it on the electric machine this time. Fold it in half, find the middle. That's what should have happened the last time. Tie it off, twist, hold the end, twist, twist, twist. Tuck the end between your fingers, twist and roll, twist and roll, twist and roll. So now that I don't have to explain it, you can see how quick this is. Oops. And yeah, I just needed to prove that it is entirely possible to get it perfect from end to end. When you've got your bubble chain, I'm going to tie the knot end into where the weight is underneath the balloon, and then I'm going to take it up like this and all the way around and back under here. So you don't need to worry too much about where this goes, because once again, every one that you do will be slightly different, and that is a very good thing. We can hold it down using the 5-inch neck. So now we've got quite an interesting sculptural shape at the base of it all. I'm going to add in a few little 5-inch balloons. This is the fuchsia. Squeeze the air right into the top. If you're making it small, squeeze the air right into the top, and then when you tie it, tie as close to the body of the balloon as you can. So cross them over, pull nice and tight, and that way you get nice round balloons, and you also get a nice even colour, evenly stretched. So inflate a little bit bigger than you want perhaps, let it down, squeeze the air, and then I'll give it a twist while I hold it for the next one. We've got 2 fuchsias, 2 pinks. Put it nice and tight and tie. And when I'm making them as small as this, I do like to remove the necks, because that way you don't have to worry about them showing later. And twist those into a little duplicate like that and sit it in the middle using the neck of the balloon where the weight is. Here I've got some ribbon. I've chosen this one because it's a pink mesh that holds its shape quite well, but running through it is a metallic thread in fuchsia, so it picks up all the colours really well that I'm using. And I'm just going to add one or two of these bows. So I need those, yes, I need just two of them. So I'll put one in the front here. I've tied them with silver ribbon, and then the ribbon ends will just curl and become part of the design, picking up on the silver reflex there. And I'll tie the other one in the back here. And that will hide any mechanics or anything that shows. Not that anything is, but you know, it would just hide it if required. Once again, leave the ribbons as part of the design. So that's the base of our centerpiece, like that. Above it, I'm going to fly some helium-filled balloons. So we're going to use one of the Satin Lux hearts. Just move that. That's my glass of water in case I get 30. I don't want to knock that down. Inflate the balloon and tie it to a ribbon, like so. I'll just put that to one side over here for the moment. And then I'm going to inflate the two 14-inch hearts. Okay. For that, I need to change the outlet. So we'll just remove the auto foil, put the trigger valve. Now, I have inflated a few of these while I've been working out what to do. So hopefully I'll be able to inflate it to the correct size without exploding it. They are very forgiving, which is a great delight. Most of the time with heart balloons, heart latex, they can be quite tricky to inflate. And it's been marvelous for me to be able to inflate these so easily. They blow up nice and even shape. They're quite soft. So yeah, fantastic. Many people are nervous of hearts because they can be a little bit tricky to do, me included. But on these occasions with these, they're fantastic. Love them. So if you are a little bit nervous, then use a sizing template so that you get them exactly the right size. I'm going to use two of these. Okay. Like that. Now I need to dress these up a little bit. So I'm going to use the 5-inch fuchsia. This time we don't want to add too much weight, so make it big, drop it down quite small, maybe smaller than that. This time, don't squeeze all the air up into the top, leave it the way it is. because we're going to tie this off and then twist it in half. So if you squeeze the knot into the tip, just squeeze it across the middle like that, and twist the balloon in half, and then you can use the neck to tie around to hold it together. We need 2 of those. Make it big. Drop it down. Don't squeeze it. Tie it off. Push the knot and the tip together. Squeeze the balloon in half. And then use the neck to tie it. And I'm going to wrap one of these underneath each of the silver reflex hearts, and then add another bow. So we've got that. Do that with the other one. So I'm just using the neck of the silver heart, and I just wrap it around and then twist over, and that will secure it nice and tight. You don't actually need to tie anything because the double twist like that will make it firm enough. Pull the ribbon through. There we go with that. Now the foil heart looks a little bit naked now. This doesn't have enough lift to support a 5-inch balloon, but a small bow, that's okay. So I'm just going to add this small ribbon bow underneath. Yeah, so we've got enough lift on the foil heart to support that. And finally, we'll make a bouquet with these 3. So I've got a little bit heavy weight on that foil. I'll adjust that in a minute. Make your arrangement how you want it to be, and just twist the ribbons through the middle of that and curl them if you want. I just need to reduce the weight on the bow slightly. It's quite deceptive sometimes how little weight a foil balloon can carry, but once you've got it right, it will be fine. That's better. That's now got enough lift to fly straight, but it's not going to collapse. Okay. One last detail, just to make it extra special. This is a metallic poster paint pen. There's many, many, many different brands available. So we won't bother to talk brands, but they are universally available in lots of colours, and this is metallic silver. And I just want to add a little bit of extra detail on here with some silver curls. Once again, don't worry too much about the exact design because everyone will be a little different. Okay, so you can spend as long as you like doing this. Just don't get too carried away, because as much as we all enjoy working with balloons like this, it is a job. We need to make some money, and if you're going to spend an hour putting curly patterns on your balloons, it's probably not going to be very commercial. But there we have it. That's our silver reflex and satin luxe heart design.
Chris, I love it. It's so lovely.
Thank you.
People are loving it, and people have so many, like 2 questions. The
Yep.
first one is if that you can repeat the process of the round 5 divided that you put under the hearts.
Yep. That's one's easy.
Okay.
We do that first.
And now, okay, we'll do that first.
Yep. So, inflate your 5-inch balloon fully to stretch it. Then let it down until it's really quite small. What is that? 6 centimeters, something like that. It doesn't have to be exact, but quite small, which means it's really, really soft. Then if you tie it like that, we have a very soft and squashy balloon. So we push the knot down through the balloon. Basically, we put finger and thumb, one on the knot and one on the top of the balloon like that, and squeeze it flat. And so we push half of the balloon this way, half of the balloon that way, and the knot's on the top. And then when you get it close, just twist it in half, like that. Now you will find possibly that you get more air in one half than the other, but before you completely finish, you can adjust that, squeeze it backwards and forwards, get them roughly the same size, a few twists, and then take this and wrap it all the way around and tie a knot. And that way, you have 2 small bubbles from one balloon.
Perfect. Thank you,
Okay.
Chris. Okay, so maybe people like join us a little bit late. So they are asking if you can repeat the process, the first process you made, the technique you used for the foil balloon. Yes.
Yep. Okay. Now this time I don't have a weight spare because I only had one prepared, but that's okay because I can do it with anything. It doesn't matter what it is. You just need something to create a tying point. So because I wanted to make things work twice, if you like, to do double duty, I used a weight for that because it then holds it down as well. But on this occasion, I'm not. I'm just going to use a screwed up piece of plastic bag. It really doesn't matter what it is. Stick it inside a 5-inch balloon, like that. So you've now got a little bubble thing that you can use to tie around. And then put this somewhere on the balloon. Wherever you put it, it doesn't matter as long as you make sure you avoid the end of the valve. So put it somewhere here, off to one side, anywhere you like. It will just make a slightly different shape each time. I'm going to put it there. Gather the balloon around it. Tie it off with something, ribbon, scrap of 260, anything that comes to hand. So we have the small ball that we made here. The balloon is tied around it. And then on the other side, we have the neck of the balloon that we put the ball inside. And then you inflate it like that. So there's our attachment point. There's the weight, if that's what we've used. And you can see, actually, it's a good thing that you asked the question. I said that every one will be different. And you can see here that these two are a completely different shape from one another. So each centerpiece will be unique. It'll all have a slightly different look, but all follow the same pattern. There you go. That's how that's done.
Perfect. It depends where you put the weight point, right?
Yes. Yeah. And you know, I imagine if you were very precise and measured every time, then you could get them all the same. But for me, the beauty of this kind of design is that everyone is just slightly different. So I never measure. I just put it and see what happens and make the best of it.
This is a beautiful design, Chris. People are loving it.
Thank you very much.
They are saying it's very delicate, very lovely.
Yes, and of course there's so many colours that we can do it with now. It can be adapted for all sorts of different occasions, so that's a very good thing as well.
Perfect.
Right, if we've no more questions on that one, we'll move on to design number 3.
Okay.
Let's put that one down. Have a small pick-up of everything so that I don't get the materials for one thing confused with something else. Thank you. Right. This one. Now, see, I have to have a little plan to remind me what's going on. So I've got a little design in front of me each time to jog my memory, to keep me on track. This one involves a technique that I've started using just recently that I absolutely love. So the materials for this particular design are reflex blue in 12-inch and in 5-inch. Then we have crystal clear in 12-inch and 5-inch as well. And we have some graffiti frost. That's the graffiti balloon with the white print. Reflex blue 260s. One that is printed with happy birthday. And then some of these new, I absolutely love these. These are fantastic. 5-inch reflex with stars. So, so pretty. And the colours are great, and yeah, I'm using just the silver ones on this occasion. So this is going to have a bit of an out of this world kind of space theme to it. And it involves a technique of creating your own marble effect. So I wanted some, you know, a marble effect balloons in particular colours. And this works so well. So you're going to need acrylic paint. And obviously the colours of paint will depend entirely on the effect that you want to achieve. Because we're after a sort of space theme, I've gone for silver, white and purple, violet colour, which on top of the reflex blue gives a really cool effect. So first thing is to stretch the balloon. I'll do it with the 12-inch first, and we'll just inflate this a little bit. Let's just turn this back to 0 so that I've got a bit more control over it. Inflate it nice and large. Just hold it for a second so that the latex can relax. And then let the air out. Now for the next part, it's entirely possible to do this with your fingers, but it can get a little bit messy. So if you have a balloon stretching tool like this, one of these pliers with the points on that we use to stretch open the neck of the balloons. It's got one of those. it will make life much easier. Put the tips into the clear balloon, pull it right down so that we can open right up into the main body of the balloon here. So there's a big opening. Then we put some paint in. Now these are all going to be air filled. So the amount of paint, oh dear, that we use isn't that important because it's not going to carry any weight. I have tried it with helium on a 12-inch balloon. It does work, but it doesn't fly for very long. So,
Chris,
yes?
Chris, what kind of paint is that? Is it acrylic or?
Yes, sorry, yes, I should have mentioned this. This is acrylic paint. You can use almost any quality of acrylic paint you like.
Okay.
The cheap stuff that you get in craft stores or toy shops or anything like that will work perfectly well. But I do have to say that the better quality paint you use, the better the end result. So this is proper artist's quality paint. But you use so little of it each time that it really isn't a problem in terms of cost. Just a few drops inside the balloon is enough. Now, you can, I'm getting it everywhere because I missed the balloon. You can get a little bit creative with this as much as you like. We're going to squeeze the balloon a bit, not much, but just a little bit, so that the paint spreads around and blends together. Don't do too much because you'll just end up with a mix of all the colours and, you know, it won't be a marble effect. So just a little bit of a squeeze and then double stuff with the reflex balloon. There. And then we can inflate it. And once again, like the foil hearts in the last design, every one of these that you do will be different. Each one will be unique, and you don't know quite what it's going to look like until it's done. But you get some fantastic effects. So I'm going to blow it reasonably large. Look at that. Absolutely superb. Then I'm going to let it down a little bit and tie it so that it's round.
Looks like a marble.
Doesn't it? And now you can see all the different colours of balloon that we have and all the different colours of paint that we can get. The combinations are amazing. We've done some beautiful ones with white balloons and gold paint. They look very, very, very nice for weddings and things like that. We did a red balloon with gold paint, which was pretty exciting as well. And that was quite good for, well, it would work wonderfully for Chinese New Year. I'm going to do a 5-inch one now because you can do it just as easily with 5-inch. Blow it up. Use your stretching tool. Get it right inside the balloon. There we go. Open up the balloon. Little bit of paint, bit of silver in there. Bit of white. It's quite fun because, as I say, you don't know what they're going to do or what they're going to look like. And some purple. Take it out. A little bit of a squeeze. And then double stuff with a 5-inch balloon. And I have to say that this technique is one that is sort of captivating me at the moment. And I'm trying to find ways of using it in almost everything. That one's much more purple than the other one. So every one is going to be unique and different. So we'll do that. Then in combination with this, I want to use the double stuff reflex blue inside graffiti frost. one of those, which I'll use the electric machine for because it's quicker. If I can get it on. So you see we get quite a similar effect between the graffiti with the reflex inside and the marbling. But what we can do with the marbling is add extra colour, which is really good. So we'll do that. I'm going to tie those together. And then I'm going to make a couple more duplets with the blue and with the little silver stars. So I'm keeping it quite simple. It doesn't need to be a complicated thing. We want the balloons, the detail of the balloons, to be the most important part of this. Just those there. Then I will add in another one of these. Another blue in graffiti. Same as we did for the fuchsia ones that were very small, and in the first design in the safari. If you want a small balloon, but you want the colour to look right, squeeze the air right into the top of it, and that way you can get a good looking balloon using the 12-inch to there. So that will sit there on there like that. Yeah, I think that's about right. Now, into this I want to add a foil balloon. So this is a standard iridescent silver star. Adds a great deal of shine and sparkle to the whole thing. That's going to sit in there somehow. Yeah, like that, I think.
Chris, how many inches is the star?
This is it's an anagram star, so it is referred to as a standard. So it's not an 18-inch as such, it's a bit smaller than that. I think the measurement is 17 inches, I think.
Okay, perfect.
But it's the anagram equivalent of an 18-inch star. So they're made slightly smaller and with lighter film so that they use less helium. And as such, they've got a slightly different name. We call them standards. Okay, that's going to sit in there. And yeah, I want to leave a space deliberately. So, right, so we'll just have that sit there for a minute. One thing that we do need is a weight. Same thing as before. Small, heavy weight inside a 5-inch balloon. Just pull it into the center. Wrap it round a couple of times, tie it off.
What's inside of that heavyweight?
That's a glass marble again, with the big, you know, the toy. It's like a glass. You know,
okay, perfect.
Yeah, you know what I mean. A glass sphere that you roll and play games with. It's one of those.
Yes, perfect.
Very easily available. And the other thing is, if you need some extra weight, you can put 2 in or 3, depending on how much weight you need.
Okay.
So I need some curlies now, because another thing that I want to do is to create a planet. So we're going to use the reflex again inside the frosty, graffiti frost. Inflate it, make it round, which will be the basis for our planet. Swish squash, there we go. Like that. So there's the planet itself. Squeeze it nice and tight, tie it nice and tight to reduce the knot as much as you can. And I'm going to remove the neck roll, but not the whole neck. So I'm just going to cut off the lip, if you like, because I still need something to attach. Then I'm going to inflate a balloon here. Good stretch. I don't need all of the balloon. So tie it off there. I need to put a couple of twists in the end. Twist it a little way in and then pinch that back on itself, so you make what is called a pinch twist. And then do another one. So I have 2 pinch twists, and then I'm going to wrap the balloon around here. Pull it so there's a little bit of tension so that it sits nice and tight. Twist it, and then wrap the twist into the pinch twists, and then we can remove what we don't need. Go around a few more times to make sure that it's nice and firm. And there is our planet with the ring around it. We want that to be sort of flying here-ish. Okay, so we need a curly to sit it on. Good stretch. Inflate all the way. Let it down. Then taking the hand pump, I'm holding the tip of the balloon here with my finger and just a little bit of tension and wrap it around the hand pump. Whoops, don't let go. Many people have different ways of doing this. This is the way that suits me, but if you have a different way to create a curly balloon and it works for you, that's fine. Now I'm going to inflate it again. There we've got the balloon, the curly that we need. A little bit out to soften it. A pinch twist in the end. Another pinch twist. And a third one, because I need like a little cup there to sit this balloon into. So that's going to sit on there. And we do that just by pulling the neck of the balloon through and twist it around a few times, and then that will sit nice and firmly on the end there. And the balloon is quite strong enough to support itself. So I'll have it coming from in here somewhere. So I'm going to put a twist there. And I'm going to pull this all the way through. And then I can adjust this so that it stays. It's a bit funky, but it will do. It's fine. We don't actually need to worry about how it looks, because we're after something that's a little bit strange. Now on this other end here, I'm just going to put a little twist and a 5-inch with stars made small. And I'm going to put a little twist of bubble and tie that nice and tightly. There. Now I need to add my star now, because I needed to get this in place first. So I think we'll just literally sit it there. So the piece of 260 that I cut off before is ideal to tie around the tail of the foil.
Chris, show us how you tie the 260 to the foil star.
Okay.
Or a little bit closer. Thank you, Jacob.
No problem. I'm going to fold the tail twice. Fold it in half once, fold it in half again, just to make it short. And then I'm going to pinch those two sides together and tie the 260 around, so that I've hidden most of the tail. There it goes, and then I'll just give it a second knot to make sure that it doesn't come undone. And that gives it nice bit of stretch, so that it will sit well in the centre of here. Hang on, I'll just put that back again. I moved it slightly. Yeah, there we go. So I want that there, that there. That's better. That faces like that. That faces like that. This fits in here. So the fun of this, again, like all of the others, is that they're all going to be just a little bit different from one another. The marbling will be different, the angle of the planets will be different, everything will be just slightly, there we go, that's how we want it. Well, I'm looking at it backwards, but I'm sure that's the way I want it. One more curly. Big stretch to relax it, inflate it all the way. Get it down. Wrap it around. And inflate it again.
People are asking if you don't have electric machine, if it's possible to do this curl with a pump.
Yes. It's something that I've never perfected myself, not on my own. Obviously, if there's two of you, then one person can wrap it around one pump and the other one can pump the balloon up. But I personally have never been able to do it without an assistant, which is why I like to use the electric machine. But there are people that can do it by themselves. I personally think it's magical to be able to do that. It's something. But yes, you don't have to use an electric machine. You can use a hand pump. just as easily, but it will take someone else to attach, to pump the balloon. Now this one's gone really funky and weird. I don't mind. That's the nice thing about this design, is that it really doesn't matter if things are a little bit strange. To finish it off, I need a cluster of 4 5-inch, whether you do them all the same as each other, same size, or whether you do them slightly different, again, is entirely up to you. I'm going to do them slightly different. Tie 2 together to make that. Maybe I'll put 1 blue one in there as well. But I just like to feature these little reflex balloons with the stars on. They are so beautiful. I'm looking forward to being able to work with these a lot more. Okay, so we have a little cluster of 4 balloons here. These will sit on the end of this. Twist it nice and tight so that it sits nice and firm, because on top of this we're going to put a 24-inch marbled reflex blue. Now, I didn't trust myself to do this in front of the camera, so I did it earlier. It's just exactly the same technique, but because it's so large and the space here is so small, I thought I could get into a little bit of a mess with all the paint. So
I know. So
Chris,
so now that you're talking about this technique about the marble on the painting side, can you tell us again, how did you make this one?
Yes. So let's just completely finish this design, and then I will just demonstrate it again quickly.
Yes, people keep asking what paint. So I'm gonna say it's acrylic. What you used?
Yeah, it is acrylic paint. Any brand, any quality of acrylic paint is fine, but the better quality paint you use, the stronger the colours will be.
Perfect.
So the last thing in here that I want to put is the happy birthday balloon, because this will be for a birthday. So switch it on.
Another thing people keep asking is that if they have to wait until the paint dries to inflate the balloon. So
no,
perfect.
Definitely not. No, inflate it straight away while the paint is wet, because then it will spread more evenly around. The paint will dry quite quickly. In an hour or so it will be dry. So that's not a problem then. If the balloon bursts after the paint is dry, there's no issue. If it bursts while you're inflating it, it's messy, which is one of the reasons I did this earlier, because when I was practicing, I was trying to do it with a 36-inch balloon, and I burst it, and it was a terrible mess. So I thought, I don't want that happening on camera. I'm going to have it
understood perfectly.
Happy birthday print on there. I'm going to sit that in the middle so that it's nice and visible. But you could, if you want to, use the clear balloon with the happy birthday print in metal ink and use that in the center of your design instead. So whatever you
that looks very
like,
nice,
doesn't it? It's fabulous. And with a little bit of practice, you could possibly get the colors where you want them to be. So maybe we could have the silver print on the purple.
So this is a good tip for the people, explaining that they can use also printed balloons with this acrylic technique that you make.
Yes, any printed clear balloon will work. And it even works with the crystal pastels. That way you get even further levels of tint into your balloon, because the balloon will give the paint a different tint again.
Great.
So there's lots and lots and lots of possibilities. So there we go. That's that one.
Beautiful, Chris. People are asking what's inside of the ones with a graffiti. What reference?
That's a reflex blue.
Okay,
so
perfect.
It's a graffiti frost with a reflex blue inside. And I've used the reflex blue in the marble ones as well, because it shows through where the paint isn't. So that makes it all fit together as well. So I can just show you how the marbling was done again quickly, because I've still got another design to do.
Yes, we have time for that design as well.
Do we? You do have time? Okay.
Yes.
I don't want to run into someone else's slot. Okay, so here we go. 5-inch balloon, well, sorry, clear balloon of any size, doesn't matter which. And then you need a colored balloon of the same size.
Chris, we'll still have 40 minutes, okay? So we have time, plenty of time.
Oh, yes, we do. You're right. Okay. Yeah, so a clear balloon of any size and a colored balloon of the same size. So obviously this one, the small one, is a 5-inch. This is a 12-inch. That's a 24-inch. It is possible to do it with a 36-inch, but it's a bit scary. But yeah. Then you need these stretching pliers, however you want to call them. It's possible to do it anyhow, just open the balloon, but these make it easy. Put those into the balloon, all the way in, stretch open the balloon like that, and then put your paint. So we'll have a little bit of white, we'll have a little bit of silver. I took the lid off the purple, so a little bit of purple. Any combination of paint, any combination of colours, completely up to you. Got paint in there. Take the pliers out. Just press it a little bit, but not too much. And then double stuff it with your coloured balloon. And then inflate it.
They're asking if the paint doesn't crack.
No, it doesn't. We had the first test pieces that I did to test out whether it worked. We had them sitting around in the showroom for weeks and weeks and weeks, and they were fine. This big balloon here has been inflated for 3 days, I think, 5 days. So I prepared it 5 days ago, and it's still flying. So no, the paint doesn't crack, particularly if you do it with an air-filled balloon. We all know that Sempertex latex is very, very, very good and lasts a very, very long time. So it's not going to go down, and that means that the latex won't crack. There you go. They are quite beautiful. All right.
Perfect. Lovely. Perfect. I love the colors.
Thank you. Yeah, I do too. Right, we'll have a little pickup of all of this, and then we can do the final design.
Fine. Perfect.
Okay. Right. Let's clear these away. I'm being a lot more tidy than I usually am. I usually make a huge mess and then clear it all up at the end. But because there's people watching, I'm trying to be a little bit tidier as we go. There we go. Don't need that. Those can stay there, that's fine. Right. So we're going to go back to Safari for this one, because that is the theme of the whole event. I started with a safari design, and I'm going to finish with a safari design, but one that is slightly different to what you may have seen before. So this time I'm going to use an orbs balloon. This is the one with the leopard print. I've got a pre-prepared bead chain there. There's my ribbon. Here we go. So this is what I mean by a marble.
By the weight? Perfect, yes. You understood.
Yeah. So those things. And they come
I think
in
you have a
different
collection
sizes.
of them. I think
I
you have a lot.
Big bag full. Yeah. So
You
these are
used to
little
play
ones.
with that as a kid?
Yes, I did. And I've got 3 small ones in here, but you can use the bigger one. So it's nice because you can control the weight that you need, and it also doesn't make a mess if the balloon splits or anything like that. It's not dangerous in any way. So they actually work really well. I've also then got some rose gold reflex 14-inch hearts, some 5-inch animal prints various, everything except the zebra this time because I want the browns and gold effect. I've got the 12-inch animal print leopard and giraffe and some reflex gold 260s. Okay, so I'm going to start by making some little clusters, and I'm going to I want these to be the right size, so I'm going to use a sizing template, which is something I don't do very often, but just occasionally you do need to measure your balloons. So a pair of leopard print in gold. Oh, these little 5-inch ones are just fantastic. I'm very, very excited to have these. I really, really, really like them. I'm going to use a giraffe print. This time I want it even smaller, so I'll start with that size, and then I'll just go down a bit further. I'm going to tie that to one of the ones with the marbles in, which is the weight. So make a duplicate with the weight. And then twist that into a little cluster, like so. There's your weight, and then the 3 balloons on top. So do that again. One. 2. And then another giraffe. And then let it down smaller. Tie that to, there it is, the one with the weight. And then twist it to make a cluster. So we've now got 2 the same. Right. I'm going to take some of these pieces that we cut off, the waste bits that we chopped off already, and I'm just going to tie a couple of knots in those to make a small bead or bobble of latex. Just a tiny thing. And then I'll do it again with this one. Wow, quite tricky sometimes. Did I get that? No, I didn't. Let's have another go. Because it's very small and my fingers are very big. There we go. So I've got 2 tiny little beads of latex. I'm also going to need 2 of the lips. So just take the very end of the balloon, the lip pieces. 2 of those, 2 of those. Right. Heart balloon. 14-inch reflex rose gold. Inflate it with air, hold it for a little while to soften, then let it down again, and drop the 2 little beads inside. In fact, we'll do them one at a time. So we drop one into this lobe of the heart, and I want it to sit just at the end there. Pull it nice and tight. And use the lip that you cut off one of the 5-inch balloons to go round like an elastic band a few times. I'm doing this with making sure it's all done with the latex, because the hearts they're very good and obviously much stronger. I've mentioned before that they seem stronger and easier to work with than normal hearts, but they're still quite delicate, and when they're inflated they're under stress. So I don't want to run any risks by using sharp ribbon or anything like that. So a latex bead inside, and use the lip of the balloon to trap the bead on the outside. Like that. So I've got a little bead inside each of the lobes of the heart. Now we're going to inflate it again. Go gently. I think I'll finish it with a hand pump. It looks a little bit suggestive, a little rude to start with, perhaps. But what we're going to do now is these 2 attachment points that we've created, we're going to wrap the little ones that we made earlier around them. One there. And one there. Okay, so those have been attached by wrapping around the little beads we made earlier. The small ones with the marbles in that are acting as weights are here, and that means that that will stand up like that and gives us a base for our centerpiece with a little twist, because we're using a heart and we're using it upside down. Now when I look at that, I can already see that that could be the body of a figure. We could put a little head, 2 little arms. So I need to play some more with this idea, but I think it has a lot of potential. I'm going to twist this bead chain into here. And the same on the other side. Like that. And then take the bead chain up and use the neck of the heart to wrap around, like so. I then need another cluster of 5-inch, so I'm going to use one of the tigers, one of the leopards, not a leopard, it's a giraffe. What am I talking about? My 2-year-old granddaughter would know the difference between a leopard and a giraffe. I apparently don't. That's a leopard. I think I'll have another one. Tie those together nice and tight. Just into the cluster, sit it on the top. Okay. Right, so we're going to inflate the orbs balloon. And we have the right piece of equipment attached, which is good. We need the trigger valve for orbs. If you've not used these before, they're marvelous, but they can be a little bit scary as they inflate. And you just keep going until all the seams have disappeared. There. We'll attach that to a ribbon. That's that. I want a 12-inch leopard print. I want a 12-inch giraffe. There. And I want a 14-inch heart. Helium, not air. And then to give them some, oh, sorry, now, could be because I didn't measure it. If you need to measure them, and maybe it's a good idea, what you really need is something like this. Now, these are discontinued by, have you got a measuring tape anywhere around? If not, I will estimate, but these are discontinued, but I've hung on to these for a long time because they are so useful. They clamp onto the edge of your table and give you 2 posts that you can slide up and down. And you put your posts the appropriate distance apart, and then you can measure anything you like. But with hearts, if you're going to measure those, you need to measure from side to side. Because they're not round, the measurement is taken across from side to side. Thank you, Jacob. I was a little bit short there. I can make it a bit bigger. There we go. In danger of treading on my cables again, cutting everybody off. There we go. Right, so that's set to the 14 inches, and then we should be safe. So measure from side to side, from tip to tip. There. And then you should avoid any explosions. It is actually quite a lot smaller than it was. So yes, I was getting a little overexcited by all of this. Okay, so we need to just dress these up slightly. So I'm going to use the same technique as before of twisting a balloon in half. We don't want to add too much weight. So I'll do a giraffe, twist it in half, tie it round, whoops, twist it in half, tie it round, that's it. I'll do a tiger. The tiger on the terracotta is really, really nice. We like that a lot. And we'll do a leopard. And then I want a cluster of 4 for the orb. Because that's got a lot of lift, I can use the whole balloon instead of having to twist it in half. So we'll do that. But I will remove the waste that we don't need. One more of those. Okay. So I will put the cluster of 4 underneath the orb's balloon.
So Chris, now that you're taking a helium balloon, people are asking, why don't you make first a knot to the balloon and then you tie the curly ribbon? People are asking, oh my God, it doesn't release the air. That's
For this
great.
one?
Yes.
For the latex, yeah. Okay, so there's a trick. And I've been doing it for so long that I kind of forget that some people don't know it. So I apologize. We put a knot in the balloon, just like always. So I am tying the balloon as you would normally, but what I'm doing is holding the ribbon so that when we tie the balloon, we tie the ribbon into the knot at the same time. So for instance, there's the ribbon, there's the neck of the balloon. Yeah, I've got the ribbon in front, across the neck. And when I tie the balloon, the ribbon is through the knot. So when I let go there,
Perfect.
it's all
Thank you,
attached.
Jacob, for the close-up.
It's very difficult to do because it's funny, you know, quite funny angles. But yeah, when you tie the knot in the balloon, just make sure the ribbon runs through it, and then you'll be fine. It saves a lot of time. That can go underneath the giraffe balloon. The giraffe could go underneath. No, well, the tiger could go underneath the leopard. And the giraffe can go underneath the heart. And then all we need to do, push all this out of the way for the moment. Bring that back in. I'm going to arrange these balloons how I want them to be. So we'll have the heart down a bit, then the orb maybe, then that, and then that. So we'll just arrange them into a bouquet that is nice. Twist them through. There. Curl.
Gorgeous, Chris. I love it.
It makes a nice change, doesn't it, to use the heart upside down, which is quite an interesting trick. And I'm just going to finish it off with some metallic gold palm foliage. And I'm just going to literally just tuck that in between the balloons, one here and one down here.
Those details are great.
The details are the most important thing sometimes. We need a little bit of extra weight. Maybe I should have used 4 marbles. That is very easily done just by, I like to keep the weight as little as I possibly can, but sometimes I've obviously gone a bit small. But okay,
so this is the part where you use the marbles. People are asking, how does he makes that? So right. Perfect, Jacob. Thank you very much.
There's your 5-inch balloon.
Perfect.
Like that. I have the marbles. Marbles in my hand. Just tuck them inside the balloon. Like that. And you can add as many or as few as you like. I thought 3 would be enough. It really needed 4 or 5. So that's okay, because I can just add this one into here. Now it's heavy enough. So I'll do it one more time so that you can see. If you've got stretching tools that we used in the previous one with the marbling, then those will work as well to put in with the marbles. So open up. 1, 2, 3. Makes it very, very simple. Put that in there. There we are. Finished. Okay,
beautiful.
Those are my 4 designs.
Chris, can you put the 4 designs on top of the table, please?
I'm sure we can. Let's just move all of this out of the way.
People want to see them all over again.
Jacob's going to have to leave his post now at the camera, go and fetch them. But here they come. Fortunately, he didn't put them too far away. Put everything down so that we've got a clear table. And I'll move that as well.
That tree, Chris, is just perfect.
I'm really happy with that. It was one of those things, you know, you have an idea in your head, and when you put it together, it looks the way you expected it to, and so that really made me very happy.
And it's like
it came together.
And it's like the perfect size of the stick, right? The wooden stick.
Yes.
is perfect.
I spent longer looking for the stick than I did from designing the piece. But yeah, once I saw it, it was exactly the right shape. There we go.
So Chris, can you very quickly remind us the materials used today?
Yes, I can. We'll start with this one. So in here we have the anagram satin luxe heart, and then we've mixed that with 5-inch reflex pink and reflex fuchsia and 260 reflex silver. And then on the top here, we have the 14-inch reflex silver hearts. So that's that one. In the space one here, we have 5-inch and 12-inch, and at the top 24-inch crystal clear. Inside those is reflex blue in the same sizes, 5, 12 and 24. This is graffiti frosty with reflex blue inside it. We've got reflex blue 260s, and then we have the new 5-inch reflex with stars printed on, and these are fantastic. And then here is the clear happy birthday print in metal ink. So that's that. I don't know which way around it's supposed to be now. It's one of those ones that sort of changes. There we go. For the safari one, this tree one here, it's mostly 5-inch. We've got 5-inch, well, it's all 5-inch really, apart from here. It's 5-inch terracotta and mustard. And then I've chosen the giraffe print from the 5-inch animal print assortment. And then up above is 260 reflex lime green to make the tree. And then in this one, the last one that I did, we have the 14-inch reflex rose gold hearts, the 5-inch animal prints, the 12-inch animal prints up above, and 260 reflex gold with a leopard print orbs. Am I come undone again? I can't hear anybody.
So people,
No.
Chris, people are very excited, very happy with all these projects. They're just lovely. We love them. We want to thank you for this class, for your time. Thank you a lot, Jacob, for all the camera help. Yes, magic fingers.
Yes.
We take a look very, very deep and very careful. So it was great. The people are very excited, asking a lot, asking for your Instagram account where they can follow you.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's Amscan UK.
Amscan UK. We're gonna make sure that we can write it so people can follow you, okay?
Yes, fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, for this class. We appreciate it a lot. Thank you, Jacob, also. And so we're gonna have to practice a lot of these arrangements and all of these centerpieces. The class will be recorded and saved, so people are gonna practice a lot.
Thank you for inviting us. It's been a lot of fun and a big honor to be part of your virtual showroom this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Have a nice day, Chris.
Yes, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.